Now we'll look into a way we can set up the eyes. The way the eyes are designed to function, they actually lock onto targets. So what we'd want is to set up a control where we can even have that control, let's say, possibly constrained to other objects within the scene, any type of props that we have in our scene that we'd like the character's eyes to be focused on. So we can even do that with this type of setup. Not going to go into that too much, but from the techniques that you've been learning so far, you can easily apply that to the eye controls that we're about to set up. What we will do is set up a control to allow it to follow the head if we wish, or to follow the world. We'd prefer it more than likely to follow the world so that they can target as needed and not necessarily follow the head. Just so that, again, the eyes will function properly. So let's go ahead and set up our eye controls. What I like to do is use little nerve spheres that go right in front of the character's eyes. Okay, nothing much to it. We'll go up to create, we'll go to nerves primitives and use, not spheres, but circles. There we are. And then from here we can go into the front view and just draw out a circle. Doesn't need to be snapped to the grid or anything, just a little circle like that. Now from here we can go back into our perspective view, and I like to also line it up with the eyes at times. You don't need to, you can eye it, but eye the alignment of it, that is. But if you wanted to, you can have it aligned with the center of the eye. So we'd need to unreference our character, so we could select the eyeball. From there, turn on its local rotation axis. So go to display, transform display, LRA, or local rotation axis. And we can actually snap to this. This is great for wanting to snap to the center of objects. So now that it's there, we select our eye control, and we go ahead and vert snap it right to that eye. Great. And then once that has been done, we do want to make sure that it gets to the eye. Let's try that again. We'll go to the LRA, maybe focus on it some more and hold V and snap it. There we are. And move back. He's being a little tricky. There we go. Still not there yet. Now let's try it again. Okay, we'll zoom in as much as we need to. Come on, we can do it. There we go. Now it's snapped where it needs to go. Okay. So with that done, we can go to the next eye, and we turn on its LRA. We'll go to display, turn on its local rotation axis. Take this curve that we've made, and we're going to need to duplicate it and move it over. So let's hope that it doesn't give us the problems it gave us before. So we'll duplicate it and zoom into the eye and vert snap. Okay, hold V, middle mouse button, click and drag to the right spot. There we are. There we go. Okay, so once they are aligned, of course we can now select our eye, turn off the LRA so we don't have to see that too often. And what you also could do is actually add that LRA to your shelf if you wish. Okay, if you're going to use it often. But now that we have our nerve circles, let's go ahead and now select them both. And we can go into our side view and just position them so that they're a good distance away from the face, not too far, but to about this spot here. And then once we like the spot, we can just freeze transformations on them and also delete history to clean them up. And then we can give them names. We can call this one the CC_R for right eye, _I 01. Copy this name and select the other eye, paste. Alright, great. So we have these curves made. From here, we do want to make sure that we label these correctly, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll just change the name of this control so it has the right label. Go back into our front view and work on making what we can call a global control for the eye, so we can move both of them at the same time without having to select both and move them. So in order for that to happen, what I like to do is just go back to the CV curve tool with it set to linear and make a box or a square. So we just snap on the grid until we get right back to the original point. From there we can go ahead and center it with the eyes. So we'll center its pivot and move it over. Okay, then from there we can move this back. And if you wanted to have it exactly aligned with the eye, of course you can go to the LRA of this object. So let's say we even apply that to our shelf. We'll just add that to the shelf, the LRA. So when our object is selected, we'll turn it on and we'll select our curve. And we don't want to directly snap it, but just in the Z axis. So we'll select the Z, hold our V key, and vert snap it so it's aligned. Great, so now that that's done, we can go back to our curve and hide it, hide the LRA. Now, going back into the front view with our curve selected, we can make sure that it will be aligned the way we'd like it to be over the eyes. Okay, so I think that would be fine. And then from here, freeze transformations, even center its pivot. Okay, and then give it a name. This is going to be our CC underscore eyes control. So it's CC underscore eyes 01. Now that we have that, we want these two eyes, what will control our character's eyes, we want both of them selected, and we'll then go ahead and select our eyes control last so we can parent them to it. Okay, so now we can give them colors. With our main eye control, we can go and give it a color of, let's say, yellow. I think would be fine. Okay, if we can find, there we go, yellow. And for the individual eye controls, we can give them the same color as what we've been coloring the left and right side of our character. So that's going to be red for right and blue for left. So go ahead and do that. Find the right blue. So everything will be matched up. Great. So now that we have this, we have our controls pretty much set up. We can go to our eyes and just go ahead and basically clean up our eyes group, okay, or our eye control. We know that we're not going to scale or even bother with the visibility unless we wanted to set up a switch on the head, but that's not necessary. You can go ahead and do that if you like, though. And we'll also even just get rid of the rotate X. I like to keep the others because we could get a dizzy eye with that, as we'll see. So once we have done these things with our eyes, okay, we've set up our controls and we're ready to make our constraints work for us. So what we'll do is go ahead and stop the lesson here, and the next lesson we'll finish the setup of our eye control.